We are wrestling with AEW All Out, going from filet mignon to Burger King, if I do say so myself.
Wow. I mean, all out. CM Punk was all out of a job. Shit.
That he was. Um, and they may have just killed the territory of Chicago as well. But that's another story for another time.
Pretty much. No, Tony Khan did. He did. Because he came out there and talked to the people. And you trying to talk to some hostile ass Chicago fans who came there to see Punk.
Yeah.
Good luck, bruh. Good luck.
So, what did you think of the show? Because I don't have that much of a positive outlook on it.
It just felt like it it felt like they were scrambling after Punk got fired because I feel like All Out was kind of like the CM Punk show.
Oh yeah.
So so that's where I think it kind of you could kind of tell they were trying to shift a lot of shit because they knew that they had fired him and they knew they had to move some shit around. Ricky Starks versus Daniel Bryanson. Brian Danielson was not the match people were wanting to see, but
That's
but
fair
hey,
enough.
shit
Um,
happens.
you know, if I'm being completely honest, this wasn't a pay preview. This was a 4 hour dynamite. Cause this is the same. There wasn't a higher quality show here. There was nothing to say. Oh, well, I'm not gonna see this on um
Dynamite,
Wednesday.
right?
That being said, it took place September 3rd, last Sunday, from Chicago, Illinois, United Center, 9,826 people. So I'm assuming that's
That's
not a.
it.
Yeah,
That
9,000.
is all. Oh shit, son.
Going from eighty-one
You all you
thousand to
got is
8,000.
diehards. You going? That's nothing but diehard. But we all spoke that. That's a tall task to ask to tell your people, hey, follow us to England and then follow us back to another pay per view. Oh, a couple weeks after.
Not a couple weeks, 1 week. 1 week.
Yeah, 1 week after.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's why it was a tall task, and that number shows it. I mean, at least I remember WWE had a pay per view, and they're supposed to be after Saudi Arabia, and then in San Diego, and I was pissed. Now I see why they did it. Bitch, don't follow us to Saudi Arabia. They come to meet us in San Diego. Like two totally different sides of the earth.
Well, they put 81,000 in Wembley, but they put 9,000 in Chicago. I'd like to say that's a
Hmm.
sobering experience, but then again, Tony Khan probably thinks that's great.
I don't think he thinks that's great because you got to think how many of that is due to the fact that CM Punk got fired
Well, I mean,
the day before.
I know they made a lot of money in Wembley, but I'm just curious how much money they lost on in
Chicago.
yeah, in Chicago.
But I think it was due to the fact that Punk, that news came out. Because think about it, every time Punk has came back, Chicago, because
Yep.
he knows he can get a sold house, and he knows Chicago's a ride or die.
I mean, they were going to Chicago 15 times a year, even before
which
Father's Day.
pisses me off, to be quite honest. But then when they came to Dago, I was like,
I mean, they're coming in November for full gear, and I'm like, do I want to see these motherfuckers? And I'm like, I don't think I do.
I I tried it. I can't say I tried it.
Yeah, and um, we tried this pay preview, and I'm not a I'm not an alcoholic, but I went to rehab after this, so. Alright, let's get into it. Better Than You, Baby, Adam Cole, MJF, they defeated Alex Reynolds and John Silver to retain the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships in 14 minutes and 6 seconds. I mean, if you're going to have an opener, this was probably it. Um, the crowd was half MJF and Adam Cole, which is good. Um, it wasn't a terrible match, but like I said, this didn't seem like it was a big fight here.
It wasn't because they had it a week prior.
You're not wrong about that.
That's the That's the fucking problem. Can't have a big fight feel when it already happened in England.
Well, what was your thoughts on this match?
It was a good opener, but the problem was we saw it a week prior.
You are not
What
wrong.
what what's the difference between them retaining and them winning in England?
Right.
They just did it across the pond.
How many stars you give this one?
It's Adam Cole, so I give it 3.5.
You know what? I'll say yes to that as well. After the match, Samoa Joe came out for his match against Shane Taylor. He defeated Shane Taylor to retain the Ring of Honor World Television Championship in 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Not a bad match, but I feel like they never really got started, considering they only had 6 minutes. It's hard to say, okay, this is a great match, and it ended before it really got started. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Samoa Joe throwback on MJF, loved it.
Oh yeah, good shit.
Good shit.
Um, that being said, I give this 2.5 stars.
I mean, 6 minutes. How can you give anything 6 minutes or 2.5?
Because with Samoa Joe and I like Shane Taylor.
It's 6 minute abs, sir. I did a 6 minute ab workout that was better than that, longer than that. No offense to Joe, love Joe. I just wish that they gave them more time.
Couldn't agree more. We got Luchasaurus with Christian Cage. He defeated Debbie Allen to retain the AEW TNT
Debbie
Championship.
Allen, what the fuck?
12 minutes, 12
Really?
seconds.
Debbie Allen? I'm done. We're done. We're done. Cancel it. Cut the show. Debbie Allen.
Yeah, Debbie Allen. Um, it happened, I suppose.
Yes, it happened.
That's all I could really
That's
say.
that's all you can say. Yeah, pretty much.
Alright,
That
so
that's it. It happened. Next show.
how many
The
stars
next match.
how many stars you give this one?
I 2.5.
I give it two.
Two and a half generous?
All right. So you're generous to Debbie. I'm generous to Joe.
Because someone thinks he owes me money. So that'll never that'll never get old, baby.
No, it will not. All right. Miro defeated Powerhouse Hobbs in 15 minutes and 33 seconds. If this was in the Tokyo Dome, it would have been 82 stars. No, Kaliko? This was the match everybody was waiting for.
Yeah, two big men slapping meat. Oh Lord, I've been wanting to say that all night. I should have said that for Rhea Ripley and Raquel.
Say
Two
more
big
again?
girls slapping meat. But
So,
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
three.
I give this.
They got
Yeah, continue.
they got more time than Joe.
That it did. A lot of time. Like,
Think that through.
why so much hate on Joe?
I don't hate Joe. I
No,
just
not
hate that they gave him more time than Joe.
no, not you. AEW.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just hate people who actually tell stories in the ring. I don't know. They have this thing against people telling stories, even
I give this
unless his
one.
name is Adam Cole. That is
I give this one two fast forward bars because that's what I did for this match.
too fast forward bar. No, you did. No, you didn't. Too fast forward bar. I mean, that was Luchasaurus, sir. That was the previous match.
Well, I mean, at least that one had something for it going. It had a title on the line. This was just Miro on the
A
card,
title that a title that Darby Allen only cares about.
and yet he went for the world championship.
Yes,
Yeah.
but there you
Um, I will say, I will give two thumbs up to the return of the sexy and flexible Lana.
go. Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Chris Statlander defeated Ruby Soho to retain the AEW TBS Championship in 12 minutes and 18 seconds. This was definitely a match on the card. No,
Yes,
but I
but
shouldn't be that mean because there was a little bit of storyline in there with Tony Storm costing Ruby the match. So there was that. I'll give them that. Kudos. But hard to get invested to a degree. Um, just was what it was. What say you?
kind of same ditto. But I gotta say, it's like Chris gets the title off the longest reigning person and doesn't get a formidable reign. Is which is my point.
What do you mean?
I, I mean, it's like Jade had that belt for so long that it kind of feels like that title. The most that title meant was when her and Jade and Athena was popping off at it, right? And
Um,
that took a Twitter belt or a Twitter beat for it to happen. I'm just saying that they need to give Chris. I feel like Chris Statlander should be a lot more dominant based on like her height and her stature because the girl can lift.
right.
So I just think she should be a little bit more dominant.
I mean, it's hard to be dominant when there's not a lot of girls to be dominant over. At least,
Half of them girls, 90% of those girls are half her size. She should be dumb.
I mean, it's not that, but I mean, story. I mean, and the girls that are there, they're not bad athletes. But when it comes to telling a story, it's just not there. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I just yeah, it's not a lot of girls, and that's what I'm saying. It's attrition for her. But I mean, I think she's doing good work. I just wish that she had more people to do it with.
Right. All right. How many stars you give this one?
Mm, it's Chris Statlander. I think she's a cutie. Ruby in her own way is a cutie. So three.
I give it three just for the fact that there was some type of inkling of a story being presented to me. All right.
You know, AEW people are gonna get in our ass about this review.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Just let you know.
You, you want to say earlier you were saying during the WWE the Payback preview review, it wasn't orgasmic. All I could think about was people definitely had orgasms during this show for all the wrong reasons.
Oh wow, cold man, that's cold.
Oh,
No.
speaking of bad orgasms, Brian Danielson defeated Ricky Starks in a no disqualification strap match because when it's a strap match it has to be no disqualifications in 16 minutes 37 seconds. Daniel Bryan started bleeding 5 seconds into the match. I was immediately meh.
He said mess.
Yeah,
Well, Grant, considering that was supposed to have been Punk and Starks,
I will say
I
that
mean,
they.
what else?
I will say yeah because it was supposed to be Punk. They tried the best of what they could do with what they had. Obviously, uh, plans changed for obvious reasons. Um, but it still doesn't make it good. If I'm being honest, it's not an excuse for having the match that they did.
Oh man, it can't be that bad.
Well, I might be being a little too harsh, but it's just how I feel about it. But what say you, Khalifa?
I mean, they did the best of what they could, right? It's like trying to make in my culture we say they did the best to try to make a jack of spades walk. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Oh gosh. So there you go.
Next up,
That that
how many how many
that is
yeah
that's the best I'm gonna put it.
how many stars?
2.5. Because they had to work with a card that was subject to change.
Sure. Next up, the Combat Wombats, Claudio Itacanoli and Dord Wheeler Yuta defeated Edward Kingston and Katsuri Sabata in 15 minutes and 51 seconds. Um, a little out of place, but Yeah,
A little. I mean, 1 week after beating each other, having a fight in a stadium, they went back and fought in Chicago. Meanwhile, Kevin Owens can't even get his rematch.
that he cannot.
Just saying.
How many stars?
Three?
Um, 2.5, I suppose. All right,
Oh.
next match. Cold Kutska takes Shida, defeated Twinkle Toes McFingerfuck in 22 minutes and 20 seconds.
What? What? What was that?
Take Shida defeated Kenny Omega.
Twinkle toes, big twinkle fuck. I'm just over you, sir. Just, ah.
And I don't hate Kenny,
It's
but
is
it's
it
a heel
not the
turn.
living bout machine? I'm just saying.
And it was probably just this was probably the best match on the card. And it actually did something. You know, Kolkutska is benefiting from defeating Kenny Omega 2 weeks in a row. You know, not a bad match, pretty good match. You know, there was cheating involved, which is always fun. Um,
Hmm.
and my thing of it is where does Cold Kutska go from now? Because if they're capitalizing on what he did, it has to be, you know, worthwhile. Because that cold cuts can't go spoiled. You know what I mean?
He goes to New Japan and beats uh, Okada.
Okay, let's not get crazy.
I'm just saying, yo, just throwing it out there.
So, what was your thoughts on the match?
I mean, it's Kenny Omega. To me, he always has a good match. Upset though,
Definitely an
like
upset.
I think this biggest upset since him losing the Switchblade.
When did he? Oh yeah, he lost the Switchblade. Yeah, the United States Championship. Shit,
Yeah, the
that was a long time
biggest
ago.
upset. Yes, which goes to show you how we favor Kenny Omega.
Yeah. All right. How many stars you give it?
It's Kenny Omega, 4 stars, baby.
I give it 3.5. I can't go to 4. All right. Bullet Club Gold defeated FTR and the Middle Aged Bucks. Your thoughts on the match, Kalika?
Well, it that's what's supposed to happen. The Bucks and FTR not getting along, cost them the match. Kind of, kind of a given.
Feels like this match was just there as somewhat of a filler and to set up Gin and Juice getting another tag team championship match. That was literally it.
I mean, you can make that argument, but to me, I think it's more about the Bucks wanting to get on FTR too. So it turns into a triple threat, like a 4 way.
Mm, I guess.
It would have to be.
It
So
kind
I
of seemed like
mean,
it was only on the card. I feel like they could have did this on Wednesday. It was only
They
on the.
should have done it on Wednesday. But you can't have all out without the Bucks.
But that's what I was gonna say. I feel like they just did the match because it was in Chicago to antagonize the fans,
No, to antagonize CM Punk.
to antagonize the world.
Like, oh man, I heard you got fired on your day off.
How many stars you give this one?
So yeah, I mean,
How many stars you give this one? Kaliko, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
How many stars?
A typical young buck, 3.5.
I'll go three.
Right. Man, you are just messing their names up. Hard grader.
I did not like the song.
Tough grader you are.
Give a giving doing payback, giving out fours like it's
Candy.
like it's
Giving out
candy.
fours like it's fucking Snicker bars.
Yeah, and when it's AEW two, Dre, this
Can't
motherfucker's
even give you a 2 or 3 to let your life depended on it.
brings us to the last
Damn.
match. John Moxicillin defeated freshly pooped Orange Cassidy to capture the International Championship in 19 minutes and 41 seconds. Kaliko, your go.
Shocker. Shocker. Because I kind of felt like Freshly Squeezed would have had it forever. But the fact that he treated that belt the way that not Naito treated the Intercontinental title was the crime because it was just like he would go in there get his ass whooped and somehow he win. But at least with Naito, he was trying to pawn the bitch.
Right.
He tried to make cash out. It just felt. I mean, and I get it. That's his demeanor, but it just it was time. Because someone was like, it was funny because someone said, man, they didn't even give him a run with the title. I was like, man, I felt like he had that motherfucker for a year.
Felt like he had longer than Roman at this point.
Shit. Pretty much. It felt like he had it for like 5 years, dude. Like, oh man. I don't know if that's because he was always defending it and
Yeah.
but he bled, so
Oh, it could have been a
uh,
John Moxley match without some blood.
yeah. True. But I mean, he did it. I mean, he did it. The All Atlantic International Championship. What is Moxley gonna do with it now? Like, is it gonna mean anything?
He definitely doesn't need it if that's what you're saying.
Damn, he did have it damn near a year. He had it for 326 days. I told you that. I was like, I felt like he had it a year. Sure as shit, he had it a year. Oh gosh, now it's the all international championship. Oh gosh, Jesus.
Yes.
So now Moxley has it, and Moxley's like the coach. I mean, at least he's gonna make it mean something. He might turn it into the hardcore championship at this point. Fucking man,
Yeah.
fuck around with him.
Hardcore
He's gonna turn to
rules.
the the Terry Funk Hardcore Championship.
Forever, forever, forever.
For real, I would put it past him.
I will say that I do like that, Orange Cassidy is finally talking and, taking a match seriously. I do like that story aspect of it.
Well,
Uh,
it's Moxley. He had no other choice. The only person I expected him to take a match seriously with is Moxley and Suzuki. Because they ain't there to have a. They're not there for the wrestling match.
but we never got Suzuki and Cassidy.
Because it would have been more like what Moxley did.
Right.
Shit. So he was basically. Suzuki was living vicariously through Moxley. If
All right.
that makes any sense.
I'm just, honestly, at this point, nothing makes sense. And that makes perfect sense.
Cold.
How many stars you give this one?
I mean, Orange Cassidy did good. He fared well. So, four? I'm a solid four. He bled like a champ.
Blood Champ. That's a new Pokemon. Uh, uh, if I at this point in the show, I was just so tired. I just didn't really care about it. So
Mm.
I'll give it three, and I'm being nice with that assessment. All right, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
I mean, AEW's got that. It's like a storytelling issue. So until that goes, which I don't think it's happening, it's going to be because they're living on the fact that it's fast paced. I feel like AEW is like the X division, just a whole company.
Hmm, I could see that.
Because everything is fast paced, and I get why they want it fast paced because they kind of want people to kind of stay on their toes, like, oh shit, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? But eventually, that gets you burnt out because you kind of want to just sit and watch a story develop.
Right. You know, when even when Impact Wrestling, TNA, whatever you want to call it, even at the lowest point, when I stopped watching them, it wasn't because the quality of the wrestling was necessarily bad. It was just AJ Styles had just left, and I wasn't really digging the wrestlers that they had. Not necessarily mean that they had bad wrestlers or that their stories were bad. When it comes to AEW, when it comes to the wrestling, I just had it, honestly. It's just the same thing, match after match after match. And I'm so just tired of it, if I'm being honest.
There's no differentiation unless it's Moxley.
Yeah, there's, Moxley's gonna bleed, Jericho's gonna do something, and the Bucks is gonna have a Bucks match, Darby's gonna fall off something, and it's at the point where Darby really fucked himself up because he fell off something, and it didn't mean anything. So, you know, it's just going to continue happening because as long as Tony has money, and Tony's always going to have money, it's going to continue happening. And it feels like it's not progressing the wrestling business, it's setting it back, in my opinion.
I mean, but they're never gonna go anywhere because they're always gonna have people that is gonna follow them just because they're not WWE. So you're trying to say that they're TNA with money?
They're TNA with money, 100%. Well, but that being said, at least TNA had interesting stories and quality wrestling.
Honestly, they haven't been that bad as of late.
I'm talking about old TNA. I'm talking about, when they were going up against WWE.
True.
Alright, if you didn't already guess it, I'm giving this pay preview thumbs down. Do not like, do not recommend. Alright, that will conclude our coverage of AEW All Out and this episode as a whole. Uh, Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, vote on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this is sponsored by Red Energy and Tail One Coffee. Join us this Tuesday as we interview Rich King. Join us this Wednesday as we interview Ken Powers. And join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews, and every Saturday for a preview and review of whatever is going on in pro wrestling. Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on Twitter and Instagram, for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. You can follow me personally at JamesJ993, and where can we find Kaliko?
I am Kaliko. I want to give a shout out to Compton Mania. Ah, just we'll talk off air. For Compton Mania,
Did you see Candy Gold?
huh?
Did you see Candy Gold?
Yes. She's
Oh,
talking pretty cute girl.
well, okay, we'll talk about that off air. But uh, it just took Twitter dying for you to get back on it. No,
I mean, it's no longer Twitter; it's X, sir.
this is correct. And of course, you can
Haha.
follow Scooter at Scooter Dust and on the remix whenever that will be coming back, and on the Smoking Dragons Twitch stream. Alright, for Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.